You guys, listen. Listen, listen, listen. I need you to put your phone down for a second, because what I'm about to walk you through is not a regular David update. This one is different. This one is going to change the way you scroll through Reddit forever. I repeat. This one is going to change the way you scroll through Reddit forever. There is a cover-up happening in the David case right now. And before y'all roll your eyes and go, here she go again, let me make one thing extremely clear, the cover-up is not happening in the courtroom. The cover-up is not happening in the police reports. The cover-up is not happening in the lawyer's office. The cover-up is happening on your timeline. The cover-up is happening on the very subreddit you opened this morning while you were drinking your coffee. And the people running it might not even be David's lawyers. They might be a whole separate industry that you didn't even know existed. Hold on. Hold on, hold on. Let me back up. Because I want to make sure every single one of you understands the gravity of what we are about to get into. We are not talking about one weird mod. We are not talking about one shady post. We are talking about a full-blown reputation laundering operation that has very specific fingerprints, that has been used before, that has been used on cases worse than David's, and that is being deployed in front of our eyes right now in real time. And the scariest part, and I want you to sit with this, the scariest part is that it's working. It is working on you. It might be working on me. We pulled up the receipts, baby. And the receipts are filthy. Okay. Let me take a breath. Let me walk you through this slowly because this mess deserves a deep dive, and I refuse to rush it. If you don't know, David, as of April this year, is sitting in a cell. He was arrested on the 16th of April, 2026 for the alleged murder, dismemberment, and grooming of a 14-year-old girl named Celeste. Rest in peace, baby girl. He was charged a few days later, on roughly the 20th. The body had been found inside the trunk of his Tesla months before, back in September 2025, decomposing. Let that sit. Decomposing. In his car. While he was on tour. While his little brother Caleb was opening for him on stage. While their mother was hosting Celeste at family dinners in Texas. While their entire orbit was acting like absolutely nothing was wrong. That's the backdrop. That is the floor we are standing on before we even open the Reddit app today. Now, here is where the story gets sinister. And by sinister, I mean the kind of sinister that makes your scalp prickle. Because while David is locked up, while he is, as far as we know, eating jail commissary noodles and counting bricks, somebody, or some group of somebodies, has been very, very busy on Reddit. And not in the way you'd expect. Not the random shippers. Not the random trolls. I'm talking organized. I'm talking surgical. I'm talking a campaign. Listen. Listen carefully. Around April 1st, 2026, just days before David got cuffed, the original creator of the biggest David investigation subreddit, a user named Remy, vanished. Poof. Gone. Deleted account. Deleted post history. Scrubbed clean like they were never there at all. Now, accounts don't just delete themselves. Reddit moderators with thousands of hours of unpaid labor in the trenches don't just walk away the same week the biggest arrest of their subreddit's history is about to drop. They don't do that. They don't do that. That is not a coincidence. That is a vanishing act. That is somebody being told to disappear, or somebody choosing to disappear, or worst case, somebody being made to disappear by pressure that we cannot see. Pick your favorite explanation. None of them are innocent. And here's the kicker. Here's the part that made me physically pause my recording and pull up another tab. Right before Remy disappeared, brand new moderators showed up. With brand new accounts. With accounts that were, I want you to hear me, 22 hours old. 22 hours old. You can't make that up. These were not seasoned Redditors who'd been investigating this case for months. These were not the OGs who'd been pulling receipts since September. These were accounts that were minted that morning, given mod privileges, and immediately started swinging the Banner like they got paid by the swing. And maybe, they did. Now somebody in that subreddit, bless their soul, asked the obvious question. They went, hey, why are there suddenly a bunch of new mods with 22-hour-old accounts? That comment got removed. The follow-ups got removed. The user got banned. And the moderator that responded? Gave you a corporate-flavored answer about influx of traffic and Reddit flagging posts and additional moderation, the kind of HR sentence that smells like it was copy-pasted out of a crisis management playbook. Because that's exactly what it is. Receipts. Now, I want to remind you of something. Because this is not the first time this has happened. This is not the first time the playbook has been deployed. Y'all remember when I did the whole Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell deep dive? Where Ghislaine, the actual convicted, sitting in federal prison Ghislaine, was sitting at one point as one of the highest karma Reddit accounts in the entire history of the platform? Where Epstein's network was credibly accused of literally running their own subreddits, controlling discourse, burying victims, and steering the narrative for years? Same fingerprints. Same playbook. Same shape of operation. The mods get installed. The dissenters get banned. The defenders get amplified. The victim's family gets dragged. And the predator gets a soft, fluffy, washed clean public image while everybody who tried to ring the alarm gets labeled crazy. You see how the payoff? Do you see how the payoff is starting to look the same every single time? Okay. Anyway. Let me walk you through what's actually happening in this subreddit right now, because I do not want anybody saying, Tisa is reaching. I'm not reaching. I'm pointing. There's a difference. Let me point. On May 8, 2026, and I want you to mark that date in your brain, because that date is doing a lot of heavy lifting, a brand new Reddit account, name something like Coconox, let's just call him Q because that name is a mouthful, opened an AMA. And ask me anything. In the biggest David subreddit. The claim? Hi, guys, I am David's brother Caleb's best friend of 2 years. I have proof. The mods have verified me. Ask me anything. The mods then very conveniently chimed in and went, yes, OP provided proof. OP is verified. Carry on. Then the AMA started. And what came out of Q's mouth for the next several hours was, and I quote myself here, the most suspicious wall of glaze I have ever read in my entire Reddit scrolling life. Now, listen. I want to be fair. I want to be fair. Because in this country a person is innocent until proven guilty, and that includes Caleb. Caleb is a kid. Caleb is 18. Caleb did not allegedly do what his brother allegedly did. Caleb is allowed to exist. Caleb is allowed to make music. Technically. Allegedly. And under any other circumstances, I would not be talking about Caleb because honestly, in my opinion, he's a sideshow. The main event is the dead 14-year-old in the trunk of the Tesla. The main event is David. And the main event is the family of Celeste, who lost a child and is now being trashed across the same subreddit that is busy putting a protective ring of velvet ropes around Caleb. I want you to feel the asymmetry of that. I want you to taste it. Roll it around in your mouth. Spit it out. It's bitter, isn't it? Because here's the thing. Caleb was not just some random kid on the sidelines. Caleb was photographed and filmed leading Celeste backstage at one of David's shows. The girl who ended up dead. The girl who ended up dismembered. The girl who ended up in pieces in the trunk of a Tesla. That girl. That same girl was filmed being walked backstage by Caleb. Caleb has questions to answer. That is just a fact. That is video. That is in 4K. That is twin in 4K vertical, as the kids say. He has questions to answer, period. But somehow, when Q opened that AMA, every single answer was perfectly engineered to bulldoze right past those questions. Watch. I'm gonna walk you through this because you don't want to miss this. Question to question, did Caleb ever meet Celeste? Q's answer, he said he was around her a few times when he was 15. He didn't know her well. He didn't know her age. I 100% believe his statement. He worked very hard on making sure it was truthful. Now wait. Wait. Wait, wait, wait. Run that back. Read that to me again like we are sitting in a deposition. I 100% believe his statement. A best friend of 2 years does not talk like that. Friends don't talk like lawyers. Friends talk in slang, in shorthand, in inside jokes, in yeah bro he was just there bro it was nothing. Q is talking like a PR statement. Q is talking like crisis management. Q is talking like somebody who got a script. Question to question, why was Caleb homeschooled? Q's answer, religious family. I think. I'm not sure. I'd rather not assume. A best friend of 2 years does not say, I'd rather not assume about why his homie was homeschooled. A best friend says, yeah, his parents were super religious, the mom's whole thing was, and then proceeds to spill. The non-answer is the answer. The dodge is the data. Question to question, how is Caleb doing mentally? Hugh's answer, the best he can. When the news broke, everyone was saying he was taking advantage of Celeste being murdered to start a music career. That seems to have been the worst part for him. He was very nervous when he dropped that statement last night because, you know, it's his future. His future. The girl is dead. Her family is at her grave. The brother of the alleged killer is nervous because it's his future. And we're supposed to give this guy a hug? A bouquet of flowers? A welcome basket? A scholarship? Help me make it make sense. Question to question, did David and Caleb ever record a song together? Hugh's answer is a masterclass. First he denies it. Says they grew distant. Says they barely talked. Then literally edits the post to add, by the way, I just found out he did make a song with David back in December 2022. It was a joke freestyle, you know, the one where David says I'ma kill all my friends like Melly or some. Excuse me. Excuse me. So you didn't know that song existed, but you somehow knew the year, the month, and the specific lyric. Pick a lane, Q, pick a single lane. You either know everything, in which case you are not a casual friend, or you know nothing, in which case stop opening an AMA you do not have the qualifications to open. You don't get both. Q knew too much. Q knew the music software Caleb used on which devices. Q knew Caleb's vocal range. Q knew the inspiration playlist. Q knew Caleb had played guitar in his bedroom. Q knew Caleb opened for David but only a few times. Funny, because if you actually look at David's Discord receipts, Caleb opened for David in April, May, July, and August. Not a few times. Repeatedly. Including less than 10 days after the alleged dismemberment. Bro was on stage. Behind a microphone. Hyping up the crowd. While the body was still on ice somewhere. Allegedly. 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 Don't sue me. But Q knew nothing about Caleb's parents. Knew nothing about how the family felt about Celeste. Knew nothing about whether the parents were still talking to David. The answer to those questions, suspiciously, was always, I'd rather not ask. So you know about FL Studio versus Bandcamp, you know about 100 songs deep unreleased catalogs, you know the precise emotional state of a kid you talk to 2 or 3 times a week on Discord, but you've never once asked if his mom still loves the brother who allegedly killed a teenager? You've never asked, in 2 years of friendship, the most basic human question that any normal human being would ask at the dinner table? Cap. The whole thing is cap. The cap fits and the chin strap is buckled. Let me give you one more, because this one is the one that fully broke me. Hugh was asked, how did Caleb take the news when the body was found in September? Hugh's answer? He was offline for most of September, probably because his friends kept asking him if he was involved. He came back in October, and we all made sure not to ask him about it. We tried to give him an escape. Listen to that sentence. We all made sure not to ask him. The body of a 14-year-old girl is decomposing in your homeboy's brother's Tesla. And the group response in your friend group was, and I cannot stress this enough, to make sure nobody asked him about it. To give him an escape. From what? From accountability? From a single basic conversation? From the smallest amount of curiosity that any normal human being would have about whether their best friend's brother is a murderer? That is not a friend group. That is a containment unit. That is a quiet little circle of people specifically trained to not ask the question. That is what a managed inner circle looks like. And it is on the record, in writing, on Reddit, signed by Q, receipts. Now, this is where I want to introduce you to the bigger pattern. Because this is exactly the part nobody is connecting, and it is the reason I am doing this video. Pay attention. There is a quiet, very profitable, very ugly industry that operates in the gray space between PR and intelligence work. They go by names like reputation management or digital risk consultancy or online presence services. They charge 5-figure retainers, 6-figure retainers, sometimes more. They will, for the right price, do the following, and I want you to listen to this list and tell me which one of these does not sound exactly like what is happening on the David subreddit right now. Number 1. Identify the platforms where the negative discourse is concentrated. Number 2. Get accounts inside those platforms, either by buying aged accounts, building new ones, or compromising existing moderators. Number 3. Install loyal moderators wherever possible, and if you can't install them, find leverage to convince existing ones to step aside. Number 4. Begin a slow campaign of removing high-impact negative content under the guise of rule enforcement. Number 5. Boost positive or sympathetic narratives through orchestrated upvotes, sympathetic AMAs, and emotional pleas. Number 6. Pivot the discourse from the perpetrator and the victim onto a secondary target, a family member, a witness, anybody else, to muddy the water and split the community. Number 7. Lock down topics that resist this manipulation under invented rules. Number 8. Bury the original mods, the original receipts, and the original community memory under so many new posts that nobody remembers what the subreddit used to be. Now read me the steps that are happening at Davidiots, or whatever the subreddit is called. Tell me which one is not present. Tell me one. Because from where I'm sitting, on my chair that I am currently stuck on the carpet with, every single step is present. Every single one. Receipts, baby. Receipts. Anyway. Let me keep going because we are nowhere near done. Let me show y'all how the pivot works in real time. Because the pivot is the most clever part of the whole operation, and it is the part the public almost always falls for. About a week after the AMA, mysteriously, the same mods who allowed the suspicious "I am Caleb's best friend, trust me bro" thread suddenly pinned a brand new rule. Mods announced, with all the seriousness of a UN resolution, that going forward there would be no new posts about Caleb. Discussion of Caleb was to be funneled into existing threads. The official line, and this is gorgeous, I want you to appreciate it, was "We have been losing focus on David lately. This subreddit is for David, not Caleb." Suspicious. Convenient. Tidy. Now I want you to compare that to a different pinned post that is sitting at the top of that same subreddit at the time I am recording this video. Right at the top. The very first thing you see when you open the page. Pinned. The title? Is Wendy going to testify, plus Celeste's family of liars? Read it again. Celeste's family of liars. So Caleb, a kid who released a song literally titled in a way that turned the entire internet's stomach roughly 2 weeks after his brother got arrested for murdering a 14-year-old, Caleb cannot be discussed. We are protecting Caleb. The boy who was filmed leading the victim backstage. That kid we are draping in velvet. But the family of the dead 14-year-old? The mother who lost her baby? The cousin Wendy, who was one of the loudest, earliest voices ringing the alarm bell that something was wrong, that David was a predator, that the girl was being taken from her family? That woman? Oh, her we're going to call a liar. Her we're going to diagnose with intellectual disabilities from across the internet without a medical degree. Her we're going to drag, pin to the front page, and signal to 10,000 subscribers that her grief is suspect. Y'all. Are you hearing me? Are you hearing me? Because I am hearing me and I am furious. Let me say something on record, because I want to be clear. I have, on this channel, repeatedly defended Celeste's family. I have repeatedly said that whatever theories y'all have about them being shady, the receipts do not back you up. The receipts show a family that tried to take Celeste's phone. A family that tried to keep her away from David. A family that tried to alert school staff that something was wrong. A family that was reportedly fighting against an adult man who had the money, the lawyers, the fans, and apparently the school administrators in his pocket. That is the family the Davidiots subreddit is now calling a family of liars. And meanwhile, the brother of the accused is being treated like a tragic prince. Make it make sense. This is the playbook. This is exactly what reputation laundering looks like in 2026. The villain gets quiet. The villain's family gets soft hands. The victim's family gets the witch trial. The discourse turns. The narrative bends. And 6 months from now, when somebody Googles David, the first 10 Reddit results will not be the receipts of his alleged crimes. The first 10 results will be sympathetic posts about Caleb the resilient musician and skeptical posts about Wendy the unreliable narrator. The image gets washed. The brand gets rinsed. The dirt gets buried. And the search engine forgets. Hold on. Hold on. Refill the water bottle. I'm getting too heated. Let me pull it back. Let me show you the rest of the receipts because we are not done, baby. We are not even close. Let me show you the Discord. Because if the Reddit AMA was suspicious, the Discord is incriminating. There is a Twitter user, big page, 100,000 followers, who runs this Discord server. He goes by Spectre. The same week of the suspicious AMA, this Spectre account posted a long, heartfelt thread on X, defending Caleb, vouching for Caleb, attacking news outlets like TMZ and the Daily Mail and small-time online investigators for daring to mention that Caleb dropped a song days after his brother got arrested for one of the most heinous celebrity crimes in modern memory. I was, by the way, one of those small-time investigators. So shout out to Spectre for putting me up there with TMZ. I'll take the bump. Now go into Spectre's Discord. Read the names. Coconox is right there. Q is right there. The same Q who supposedly is Caleb's best friend on Reddit. So we have a 100k follower X account run by a guy who publicly defends Caleb, and in that exact same Discord server is the same user who one day later opens an AMA on Reddit also defending Caleb, and the mods of that subreddit verify the user as legitimate without showing us a single piece of public proof, and then days later the subreddit bans all new Caleb discussion. Coincidence? Sure. Coincidence. Tell me another one. Tell me a third one. I'll wait. Now let me give you the cherry on top. Because in that same Discord, before any of this Reddit cleanup operation began, Q said some things that I want you to hear. Way back in September 2025, when Celeste's body had not even been identified yet, when nobody was even thinking about Caleb because we were too busy trying to figure out whose remains were in the trunk of a Tesla, Q was already in Discord posting, and I quote, "I can't imagine what Caleb is going through right now. Bro. We didn't even know who the body was yet. The girl had not been named. Her mother had not even been notified. And you were already on a Discord server worried about how it was hitting Caleb's mental health. That is not the timeline of a random fan. That is the timeline of a person with inside information. Inside information." When the discourse turned and people in that same Discord started saying, "Hey, Caleb might be involved, look at that backstage video," Q stepped in and gate kept. We can't say that. Innocent until proven guilty. Don't ruin his name. Then somebody dropped the video of Caleb leading Celeste backstage. Q's response? Run. Q's response was to pivot. To question the context. To say, one video doesn't prove anything. To explain to that Discord that David must have told the family the girl was older, and Caleb just trusted his brother. Cap. We have Instagram receipts of Celeste being underage. We have Discord receipts of Celeste being underage. Everybody in David's circle knew. Everybody. And here is Q running the cleanup operation 8 months before the AMA even happens. This is not a friend. This is not even a fan. This is a soldier. And he might be employed. And if he is employed, then somebody is paying him. And if somebody is paying him, then somebody has the budget for this. And the only people who have the budget for this, and the motive for this, are the people whose entire fortune is currently sitting in a jail cell or sitting in a recording booth that is about to lose every endorsement deal in the Western Hemisphere. Now y'all might be sitting there going, "Tisa, hold up, are you saying it's literally Caleb on these accounts?" And here is my answer. In my opinion. Allegedly. With all the protective legal language I can stack, it might be Caleb. It might be Caleb's friend acting on Caleb's orders. It might be a crisis management agency that David's family hired. It might be all three working in coordination. What I can tell you with my whole chest is this: these accounts know things that random fans do not know. They know things in a level of detail that you would only know if you were inside the family or paid to study the family. And every single move they have made on Reddit and on Discord and on Twitter benefits one specific outcome: protecting the public reputation of the David family while throwing the victim's family under the bus. If it walks like a duck, if it talks like a duck, if it bans you for calling it a duck, it might just be a duck. Listen. Listen. I want to read you something. Because I want you to read what one of the most savage Reddit comments in the entire archive said directly to Q. This is the comment that I genuinely believe ended the AMA. The mods scrubbed the whole thread within hours of this. This was the comment that closed the casket. I'm paraphrasing because I will not quote it word for word, but it went something like this: "Yeah, I can tell you've been monitoring this subreddit, Caleb. I would too. Your brother committed one of the most gruesome crimes in modern celebrity history. You are now soaking your entire career, your entire music, your entire family name, in the blood of that little girl. You technically have every right in the world to release music. You also technically have every right in the world to be the most insensitive person any of us have ever seen." And on your future Wikipedia article, the summary of your career will read, 2 weeks after his brother's arrest for the alleged murder, dismemberment, and grooming of a young teenage girl, Caleb released a song. Congratulations. You did it. It's over. The end. And I want to add to that. Because that commenter spit. That commenter cooked. Caleb, baby, if you are watching, and we all know you are watching, pack the music up. Pack it up. Go volunteer. Go disappear. Go anywhere except a recording booth. Your brother allegedly did one of the most heinous things a person can do to another person, and you owe the world a little bit of silence. Not forever. Just for a minute. Just for a season. The mic will be there. The mic will always be there. Celeste won't. Celeste won't ever come back. She does not get a season. She does not get a minute. She does not get a Wikipedia footnote. She gets a tombstone. And the very least you can do, the absolute floor of human decency, is to give her family 1 full month of not seeing your face on a release announcement. 1 month. Is that too much to ask? Is it? Now let's get back to the cover-up. Because this is the part one really want you to take with you. After that savage comment dropped, the whole AMA disappeared. Comments deleted. Post itself scrubbed. The verified by mods was suddenly attached to nothing. The proof Q allegedly gave the mods? Never shown. Never demonstrated. Never published. Just trust us. The same week, the rule banning Caleb discussion appeared. The same week, the pinned post going after Celeste's cousin appeared. And in the same week, on the Davidiots subreddit, which was supposedly founded as the free speech alternative to the over-moderated original subreddit, the mods quietly removed posts asking, "Why are people defending David?" The pinned mission of that subreddit at one point said, and I'm reading you the actual mission statement: "No censorship, no controlling the narrative, no heavy-handed moderation, we welcome unconventional takes." That subreddit is now censoring. That subreddit is now controlling the narrative. That subreddit is now heavy-handed. And the original creator of that subreddit? Account deleted. History wiped. Gone. That is not a community. That is a captured asset. So here is the bigger picture I want to leave you with. Because this is bigger than David. This is bigger than Caleb. This is bigger than Celeste. As much as it breaks my heart to say that, because Celeste deserves the entire universe's attention, the reality is the reason this is so disturbing is that this same operation will happen the next time. And the next time. And the next time. There will be another high-profile case. There will be another arrest. There will be another grieving family. There will be another subreddit. There will be another quiet vanishing of the original mods. There will be another wave of 22-hour-old accounts taking over moderation. There will be another sympathetic AMA from a friend. There will be another rule pinned at the top quietly silencing the inconvenient questions. There will be another victim's family getting dragged in pinned posts. Because this is now a business model. It works. It scales. It pays. And you, scrolling at home, in your bed, on your lunch break, on the bus, you are the product. Your outrage is the product. Your sympathy is the product. Your attention is the product. And it is being harvested, sorted, and steered in real time by people who are very, very, very good at their jobs. They are not amateurs. They are professionals. They have meetings about you. They have slide decks about you. They have key performance indicators about you. They have monthly retainers built on the idea that they can move your emotions from outrage to sympathy in 8 weeks or less. And in 8 weeks or less, half of you will have moved. Not because the facts changed. Because the feed changed. Let that scare you the way it scares me. Let me also say this. Because I want to anticipate a comment I am going to get. Somebody is going to say, Tisa, you have no proof this is a paid operation. You are speculating. And to that person I say, yes. Yes. I am speculating. That is the entire point. I am openly speculating because the operation is engineered specifically so that I cannot prove it without an insider whistleblowing. That is the design. That is what makes it work. They do not need to be perfect. They only need to be deniable. They only need to leave just enough plausible cover that any individual signal, a deleted account, a new mod, a pinned post, can be explained away with a corporate-sounding shrug. The whole strategy is the deniability. And it is when you stack the signals on top of each other, the deleted account on top of the new mods on top of the verified without proof AMA on top of the timed rule change on top of the pinned attack on the victim's family, that is when the shape of the operation becomes undeniable. Each signal is plausible alone. The pile is not. Now I am going to give you what to do about it. Because I refuse to leave you with the problem and no solution. That is corny and I do not do corny. Number 1. Stop trusting subreddit consensus as if it is the truth. Subreddit consensus, especially in a high-profile case, is downstream of moderation, and moderation is now a buyable asset. Always check who is moderating. Always check when the mods joined. Always check the post removal patterns. If a sub keeps removing one type of post but never the other type, that sub is not neutral. That sub is captured. Pull up the mod list. Click on each name. Read the join date. If the join date is suspiciously close to the arrest date, write that down. Make a list. Compare it across cases. You will start to see the same shape over and over again. Number 2. Cross-check everything against primary sources. Police reports. Court filings. The actual GoFundMe that the victim's actual family created. The actual statements from the actual lawyers. Not the Reddit summary of those documents. The documents themselves. Treat the subreddit like a comment section, not like a news source. The court docket is free. The police press releases are free. The state attorney filings are free. Use them. Stop letting strangers in your phone tell you what the documents say. Read the documents yourself. Number 3. When a friend of the family pops up out of nowhere with a verified by mods badge and a glaze-filled AMA 2 weeks after an arrest, assume it is PR until proven otherwise. The burden of proof is on them. They are the ones with the strange timing. They are the ones with the suspicious vocabulary. They are the ones who happen to know FL Studio version numbers but not whether the mother of the family is still talking to her incarcerated son. Make them earn your trust. Don't hand it over for free. Trust is currency. Stop printing it. Number 4. Watch the pivot. Anytime the focus quietly shifts from the perpetrator to the victim's family, that is the operation. That is the play. That is the laundering in motion. Anytime a pinned post calls a victim's family liars while a sympathetic narrative about the perp's brother gets boosted to the top, somebody is paying for that ranking. Maybe not literally in upvotes. Maybe in mod cooperation. Either way, someone is paying. The pivot is where you catch the operation in the act. The pivot is the fingerprint. Watch for it. Once you see it once, you will never not see it. Number 5. Talk about it out loud. Make videos. Make posts. Make threads on platforms the operation cannot moderate. Twitter is messy, but Twitter is harder to capture than a single subreddit. YouTube is imperfect, but YouTube does not let one mod team unilaterally delete every dissenting voice. The cleaner platforms are also the easier platforms to control. The messier platforms are also the harder platforms to silence. Use the messy ones. Make noise where the broom can't reach. Be loud where the budget cannot afford to silence you. Be inconvenient. Be relentless. Be exactly the kind of voice that no amount of moderation can scrub clean. Number 6. And this one is the most important one. Remember Celeste. Remember her name. Remember her face. Remember her age. Remember that she was 14, that she should be alive, that she should be in 10th grade right now, that she should be sneaking her phone into class, that she should be arguing with her mother about curfews, that she should be sneaking out for her first kiss with somebody her own age, not getting flown to Hollywood by a grown man pretending to be a boyfriend. every single thing she should be doing was stolen from her. And every single subreddit operation, every single AMA, every single pinned post about her family of liars is one more theft on top of the original theft. Don't let them steal her again. Say her name. Say it loud. Type it in capital letters in every comment section. Celeste. 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 The algorithm has to hear her name more than it hears Caleb's music. That is on us. That is the assignment. And one last thing before I let y'all go, because this matters. If you are sitting there thinking, well, maybe Tisa is just paranoid, maybe this is just a normal subreddit doing normal moderation, I want you to ask yourself one single question. 1. If everything happening on that subreddit right now is innocent, if every deleted comment is just rule enforcement, if every new mod is just a vol anyway. Let me wrap this up because I have been talking for a long time and I know some of you are on your second cup of coffee. And by the way, if you are still watching at this point in the video, I love you, I see you, you are the real ones, the algorithm rewards you in heaven, drop a flame emoji in the comments so I know who actually made it this far. Caleb, if you are watching, and we both know that you are, first of all, hi. Second of all, baby, this is not the path. The music is not it. The AMAs are not it. The deleted comments are not it. The friend of a friend who knows too much routine is not it. The only path forward for you that does not end with you on a Wikipedia footnote next to your brother's worst ever crime is sincerity. Genuine, plain, unmarketable sincerity. No songs. No drops. No statements pre-screened by a 5-figure crisis firm. Just a real one. Just a young person admitting that you are scared and that you are confused and that you did not handle this perfectly and that you are sorry to Celeste's mother specifically. You owe her that. You owe her that even if you didn't do anything. You were there. You were on stage. You were in the videos. You owe her that. Period. Mods of Davidiots, whatever the subreddit is named today, y'all need to take a long look in the mirror. Because the original mission of that space was to be a space where the truth could breathe. That is what Remy founded it on. That is what the original community signed up for. And the version of that subreddit you are running today is not that. The version you are running today protects the wrong people. The version you are running today silences the wrong voices. The version you are running today is the exact thing that the original subreddit was founded to escape from. Read your own pinned mission statement out loud. See if you can do it without flinching. I doubt it. I genuinely doubt it. I think your jaw would lock halfway through. And to the rest of you, to the people who are actually showing up for Celeste, to the people who are checking the receipts, to the people who refuse to let this case be quietly washed clean by a corporate cleanup crew with a Discord and a budget, keep going. Keep posting. Keep screenshotting. Keep archiving. Save every deleted thread. Save every removed comment. The internet remembers a lot more than people think it does, especially when stubborn people refuse to let it forget. Be one of those stubborn people. Be insufferable about it. Be loud. Be annoying. Be unmoderatable. That is the only thing that breaks an operation like this. Volume. Sheer, unrelenting, unmonetizable volume. Justice for Celeste. Justice for her mother. Justice for her cousin Wendy, who has been calling this out from day one, even when nobody wanted to listen, even when the very subreddits that should have been holding her up were the ones turning her into a pinned post villain. Wendy, baby, I see you. I have always seen you. Keep going. Keep talking. Keep posting. The truth is on your side, and so is most of this comment section, regardless of what a captured subreddit wants you to believe. Anyway, y'all. Anyway. This was a long one. This was a really long one. I told my researcher this morning, I said, today's video is going to break the internet a little, and I think we did our part. I have another massive David update sitting in the editing queue, and I will probably drop that one for you tomorrow, depending on how much sleep I get and how much my chair stops getting stuck on the carpet. Listen. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell. Hit the like. Drop a comment below telling me what you think. Do you believe Q is Caleb? Do you believe Q is a crisis management firm? Do you believe Q is a completely innocent friend who just happened to know FL Studio versions and Discord timestamps but not the mother's emotional state? Let me know in the comments. I read them. I do. I really do. If anybody in this comment section has more receipts on these mod accounts, on the original Remy account, on the Discord server, on Spectre's account, on Q's account, drop them. Pin them in the comments. Send them to me. I will look. My DMs are open. My team is small but we are stubborn, and stubborn beats budget if you give it enough time. Caleb, hit my DMs if you want to talk for real. Not a statement. Not a press release. Just a real one. I will hear you out. I promise I will. But if you would rather keep playing the AMA game and the sympathy game and the music drop game, then I will keep playing this one, and I am very, very good at this one. Promise. Justice for Celeste, always. Rest in peace, baby girl. We are still talking about you. We are not going to stop talking about you. No matter how many subreddits get captured, no matter how many mods get installed, no matter how many AMAs get verified, no matter how many pinned posts get planted, we are not going to stop talking about you. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. Anyway, y'all. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.